Hello again. So today we're gonna one-shot the new Banshee 12 and 13. I got a little team for you here. I already tested it out. It works. We're just gonna go straight into B13 because the mechanics are exactly the same. They are not much different, at least for the purpose of one-shotting the boss. So here we go. So just keep in mind you can do exactly the same thing for B12. You just need to tune your gear a little bit lower, okay, because otherwise you will proc the boss's split face, okay? We don't want that. So now I'm gonna go a bit more into detail later after this run, but first I'm just gonna show it to you, okay? So here we go. He does that, buffs attack for everyone. She just cleans up. She has like 2 pieces of gear. She doesn't need much damage. She is just there to hold target health so that Sedom doesn't have to. And she can wear Caladra instead. So now Charles does that. Okay, we're gonna stop here. Okay, you can see it's pretty close to 70% health right there, you know? You can see the green bar, and then the next black, like small bar there, that would be 70% health. Now we're pretty close. Now we're just gonna burn. And she's dead. Okay, that's how easy it is. Now we're gonna do this one more time, and I'm going to go a bit more into the nitty-gritty stuff. If you want to just check out the gear, I'll have the gear timestamps in the description. You can just go there and check that out right away. So, about this comp. So, what do you need? A defense breaker. I use Shadow Rose. Why? Because Shadow Rose is also great with Sedom. Now, if you check out my gear for Sedom, I'll have it later in the video, she has 0 speed, okay? She has 0 speed. She purely focuses on attack and crit damage, okay? The problem with that is she still has to go before Charles because she has to put up her crit buff. Well, that's actually not the essential part. They don't rely on the crit buff so much, but once Charles gives out the attack buff, that only lasts for 2 turns. So if Sedom were to do this after she gets the attack buff from Charles, then she would lose her attack buff and she would not have it anymore for the boss. So she's gonna just hit some random dude here. Okay, now Charles can go and apply the attack buff. Oh yeah, so I guess what I wanted to say is if you use Shadow Rose, I use her with a 100% crit. That means 30% extra CR for Sedom, and then she can even lap a much faster Charles. Not much faster, but faster nonetheless. So she just cleans up, it doesn't matter. It is important that she crits, however. So you want to give her 50% crit, just slap 2 pieces of gear on it, so that she gets 50% crit. Because the more crits you deal before you face the boss, the more damage Sedom does because of her passive. And that's actually quite essential. So you can see to the left here, maybe I will do a slow-mo or something. You can see that on Sedom it says like something blah blah blah, attack times 6. And here you can see it again, that's another crit, attack times 7. So she charges up her damage, and that's why it's important to do as many crits as possible before you face the boss. Now you just do this, and it's super charged up. She has Caladra. She deals more damage on the defense broken boss, and that's that. Okay, so let's go into the gear. So here's my Charles. This is his gear, real quick. You can pause the video if you like. And a plus 19 tonfa. I could give him gear that would allow him to just clear the first wave all by himself. That's possible. You could give him a stronger tonfa. This ring is quite weak. I have the gear and I did that first, but if he deals that much damage, he will proc the queen with his S2 right away. So Shadow Rose lands her defense break, then he goes with his S2 and he just deals loads of damage. I don't know where that damage comes from, but he just deals tons of it and it just splits the queen right away. So you don't want to do that, so you have to tune it down a little bit. That means he won't clear the first wave all by himself, so you need some AoE type of mage that can also hold target health, so that Sedom doesn't have to. and that just uses an AoE skill first on AI. And ideally you want to have her crit too, her or him crit, so that it charges up C-Dom even more before she faces the boss. So this is Charles. Who else do we have? C-Merc, she's just holding target health. I don't think you need to upgrade your target health. You can just take a +0 target health. I think 10 souls at the start of the battle is enough, because you'll collect enough souls until you actually face the boss for C-Dom to be able to soul burn. So just slap any target health on it, give her like 2 pieces of crit set so that she hits like 60% crit or 50, so that the crit on the first wave is guaranteed. Okay, that's that. And then here's C-Dom, 0 speed, just above 50% crit chance, and just pure attack and crit damage. Okay, she's almost capped crit damage, 4.1k attack almost. Her Caladra is +21, so you could do some work there. Oh, sorry, I didn't show the gear. Okay, so here's the gear. This doesn't matter really. And here's the C-Dom gear. So I'll go through it. You can stop the video again. It's just all attack percent, flat attack, and crit damage. Really, that's all there is to it. And then Caladra, right. And then who else do we have? Shadow Rose, right. Okay, so she holds the card of Small Miracles simply because it boosts everyone's attack by 5%, which is good. This doesn't matter, it's effectiveness. So she has 100% effectiveness. You don't need that much. I think 65 is now the new limit, or the new value that you have to reach, because now they have 80% effective resistance. So 230 speed, she goes first, she has 100% crit rate, and those are the important stats. The rest doesn't really matter. This is her gear though, if you want to check it out. Yeah, that's her gear. She always crits, she always will boost C-Dom's damage, and that's what she's there for. Did I forget anything? I don't think so. So these are the 4 units. Again, you can do the exact same thing on Banshee 12. You just need to tune down your Charles a little bit. So instead of this ring, I would give him a slightly worse ring than this, just so that he doesn't split the queen right away. So you just have to tune the damage a little bit there. Just be prepared that he will not one-shot the first wave all by himself, because then he will deal too much damage to the queen. So that's what you gotta be careful about. That also means that you cannot raise fodder while doing it. So this is one of the bad points about this comp. You cannot raise fodder because you need that extra mage to hold target health so that C-Dom can use Caladra. So it's a 4-man comp, no XP farming possible, and yeah, it's manual. So that's the big thing, I guess. It's manual. So you can auto it until the very end, but it requires that one manual input where you have to soul burn C-Doms as 1 to actually one-shot the boss. Until then, you can basically auto it, but still, yeah, it's a manual team, so it requires time. With the update, I think they basically told Wachishuri to go screw himself somewhere in the corner, because there's no way he can ever one-shot Banshee 12 or 13, I think. The reason why it worked on Banshee 11 is that she had a very small HP pool with very high base defense. And that went out the window the second they introduced 110k Banshee 12 and 13. So, I don't know, I don't think it's possible. Like, even if you can cap his crit damage miraculously and still get him up to 4k attack or something, I don't know what kind of gear you would have to have for that to happen. And then you max out his Iron Fan, and then you give him like crazy attack percent memory imprints with some member in the team. I don't think it would work. You would have to deal 70k plus damage with his ult, and the multiplier and his base attack is just not there for that. It penetrates the defense, but yeah, the multiplier is just not there. So I think he's pretty much retired now. So he can't do any more one-shots. You can still use them for Banshee 11, but yeah, I think that's really it. So yeah, I'm not sure about the other one-shot units. I heard of someone being able to even auto it on B12, a one-shot with Baiken. I don't know how that works. Probably you need all 3 bleeds or something. I don't have her, so I can't test that. I also don't have Yufine. Not sure if that would work either. And yeah, I think Earth Sid would not work anyway. And are there any other units? I'm not sure. But these are really the only 2 I have. Seedom and Watchashuri. And the rest, if you know something about some other green unit that can maybe pull off a one-shot on auto even, feel free to let me know, because that would speed up things by a lot. Also, from what people have been saying, apparently Hunts 13 still drop level 70 gear, which obviously sucks. But from what I can tell, I think the rate is much better, because I've just done 10 runs or something and I didn't get a single level 70 gear. So there was a lot of 85 stuff there. At least now we get 13 energy, guys. 13 instead of 12. Such a miracle. And yeah, so that's that for now. This is probably only going to be something that you will be doing on hunt events. When you can like take 1 or 2 hours of your day and actually put it into manually clearing this thing. You will burn through all your saved up leaves and mailbox energy quite fast, since it's like a less than 1 minute run and costs 10% more energy. So I think it's something you can do on hunt events if you really care about the gear and you need those mats. But yeah, we still have to see if it's even worth it doing that at this point. The general mood in the community seems to be disappointment. So yeah, we'll have to see if that works. But just so you know, here you have it. If you want, you can go ahead and one-shot it. So yeah. If you have any questions about gear, team comp stuff, boss mechanics, let me know. And have fun. See ya.